Each bite builds a deeper hell.
Lantern swings in a dead black storm, yet the wind, it barely breathes. Teeth in the wilted rose, dry red flaking on the stone steps. Claw prints stop where the shadows start, and the ground feels hollow. Crimson under moonrise, he's waiting where the candles drown. Name carved into gravestone ice, you speak it once, you never get out. Crimson under moonrise, cold hand on your pounding chest. He drinks the dawn from your frightened eyes and leaves your body singing of death. Footsteps are rods and beams above your bed. The boards keep groaning. Window latch turns against your hand. Every prayer freezes on your tongue. Smile like a sharpened sickle, voice like velvet over rough bone. He says your childhood nickname soft that you never told Crimson under moonrise, he's waiting where the candles drown. Name carved into gravestone ice, you speak it once, you never get out. Crimson under moonrise, cold hand on your pounding chest. He drinks the dawn from your frightened eyes and leaves your body singing of death. He walks where the wolves lie still, where iron and faith both fail. He drinks every vow you spill, leaves only an empty shell.
Open the door, open your veins.
Torches flare, then disappear.
Choirs choke on their own fear.
Every bell in the village cracked when he turned and whispered back. cut sharp through the brittle grass. Old stone cross half buried in the clay. Raven circle in a tightening ring. Something here never went away. Like funeral veils, covering everything I've ever dreamed. Lantern flame turns a sickly green when the air grows thick and still. Handprints rise in the drifting fog, clawing up from inside the On the hill of the hollowed, where the dead drag you home. Every whisper is a warning, every shadow wants a bone. On the hill of the hollowed, once you hear your own name called, you belong to the hunger. You will crawl, you will fall. They never left, they never slept. They never forgave the ones who fled. Circle once, circle twice. Blood on the stone is the toll, is the price. own the clock. I own the hour. Dance for the fool with the iron bell. The banquet turns to a cellar of lead. Watch as the crown rolls into the ash. Laugh till the silk on your throat turns red.
insect choir stitch the silence, threading skin to leaf and stone. Sky is just a rumor here, green cathedral, choked with age, sunlight stains and narrow knives, cutting runes across my face. Until my pulse is undergrowth, my ribs a fallen fence, I kneel, I rot, I root, I rise, the forest wears my scent.
it ever swallowed. Twist behind the plate, step close, feel it breathing. Cold teeth in the glass, your eyes catch your own. Then your own eyes pass. Curse mirror, stares back, hungry and hollow. Curse mirror, you blink once and your soul will follow. Curse mirror, grandmother's warning, half a prayer, scratch runes round the edge. Worn thin, touch that border, hear them clawing all the ghosts you keep within. It shows you crowned in rot. Bright throne built from every fear. You reach for what you wish you were. It drags you through the smear. It stares back, hungry and hollow. You blink once and your soul will follow. Shrouded in linen, it still sings your name. Turn it to the stone wall, it still spills shame. Smash it with a hammer, hear it laugh. Every shot a doorway, every flick a path. It stares back, hungry and hollow. You blink once and your soul will follow. Rust on the batters, blood in the brain. Your neighborly ire, it guards my veins. We carve our vow in the oak by the fort. You tie the ribbon on my rusted sword. You watch the road when the horns call more. where we meant to end. Crows on the rafters, feasting over empty beds. They sing in the lantern on the years we bled. While your ghosts talk circles in the armor by my bed. Ashes on the standard where your colors used to fly. Every burning village strikes a name across the sky. When I raise my shield to thunder, but I'm on my head to time. I won the crown of carnage, he lost the kingdom of your eyes. Did you wait by the willow? Still the river took the road. Did the winds take your shadow when the first great horn was Ashes on the standard where your colors used to fly. Every burning village writes your name across the sky. I will raise my shield to thunder, but I got my hand to tie. We won the crown of carnage and lost the kingdom of your
Bare feet in the frostbit heather, smoke stains on her brittle hands. Little knife, little bone, black feather, drawn lines in the sleeping land. Men come with their hunting stories, flasks raised in the failing light. She smiles at the rust and glory, says, "Stay, there is room tonight." Whispers in the thicket, dragging you under, soft as a prayer, sharp as thunder. Follow her breath where the faces. One by one their voices fade. Only boots and rusted laces hanging from the elder shade. You thought you were the hunter, stranger. You thought you could break her spell. She hums while you lean toward the danger. You fall, and she drinks your fill.
Torches spit resin, stone sweats slow. Chains hum in the dark, something knows your name. Of rust, helms on the wall still smell of blood. Rats in procession, tiny priest gnawing prayers in the mold and dust. Black water yawns in the well, stairs fall down like broken fangs. You count each step like dying years. Hear the altar call your veins in the dungeon of the ashen crown, where the marrow feeds the ground. Every oath you ever spoke turns to iron in your throat. In the dungeon of the ashen crown you kneel, but you don't bow down. Only shadows wear the throne, only darkness carves the bones. Hands locked hands. Banner half burned hangs like sin, faded lion eyeless thin. Rust-bit sword in a dead king's grip, still tasting siege on its shattered tip. Candles choke on their own black breath, wax corpses leaning towards your neck. Hear that whisper, plate mail ghosts march in circles, guarding hope. In the dungeon of the ashen crown you kneel, but you don't bow down. Only shadows wear the throne, only darkness carves the
Drink from the skull-shaped cup. Taste the centuries thick and foul. Hear the links of the ancient chain. Wrap your name in a funeral vow.
blood on the stone, name on the chain, crown in the pits you walk in, you never In the dungeon of the ashen crown, where the marrow feeds the ground, every oath you ever spoke turns to iron in your throat. In the dungeon of the ashen crown you kneel, but you don't bow down. Only shadows wear the throne, only darkness carves the
in the ruins of my mind. But the moment comes and the courage dies. Will I rot in the silence? Will I die in the seed? Or tear open my throat? Let the fear